7 o'clock. Actually, it's after 7 o'clock, and we'll start the meeting. Everybody, please stand for the flag salute, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, can I get a roll call, please?
Here.
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 Okay, so can we get approval of the new minutes?
I'll make the motion that we approve the newly submitted minutes as presented.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, at this time, we're going to open it up to public comment. Members of the public can be heard on any item of interest not on the agenda. Speakers addressing the commission will be limited to 3 minutes. Be advised that by law, the commissioner is not able to deliberate or take action on any issue presented during oral comment. At this time, is there anybody who has anything that's not on the agenda they'd like to talk about? Okay, seeing none. Motion to close public comment.
I'll make the motion we close the public comment.
Second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, let's move on to our first order of business tonight. Okay, the first order of business is a public hearing to consider approval of a conditional use permit for existing single-family residence and accessory dwelling unit in a retail commercial district. Applicant Tim Bender. This is at 1340 L Street. So, have anything that you'd like to tell us about that?
Yeah, I can give you the project description. Thank you, planning commissioners. So the applicant is requesting a conditional use permit for, initially for a conversion of a second-story garage storage space into living space. That would be an accessory dwelling unit. And then because the property is developed with an existing single-family residence, we would take this time to also issue a conditional use permit for the main residence as well, so that they're both have a legal status, or that's not, normally what they are now is non-conforming. Actually, yeah, because they are residential use in the retail commercial zone. So it's just better for the applicant if they have that step higher recognition of a conditional use permit. So the site is developed with a single-story residence and an existing two-car detached garage, two-story and two-car garage, and I'll show you that in a moment. The location is on the overhead there. It's located on L Street, between 13th and 14th, south of Main Street, and there's an alley on the left side. So this is the property. You can see the house is in the rear and the garage is on the front. And I wish I had a street view to show you. It's a nice architecture. It looks like it was constructed for the large single-family residence on the parcel to the east. I did look through records to see if there was any kind of in a regulatory agreement or something that would indicate that, you know, there's some kind of a continued legal relationship there, because it really, I think that's how it was used as well over the years. So I assume that the same owner owned both parcels and had built their garage there, but then I think the original owner had passed away, you know, maybe like 3 or 5 years ago. And they are legal separate parcels, so we don't have any way to force the use of that, so we recognize those as legal separate parcels. And you know, and I think so far they're functioning okay. We're not aware of any issues with having them separate, at least at this point.
Might there be an issue in the future? Should there be a sale? Would that affect the use of this dwelling, or would it then
No,
still be non-conforming? Should those parcels be sold separately in the future? Would both dwellings be non-conforming on their separate parcels, or would that be an issue, or would it be a non-issue?
well, right now, they are both non-conforming because they are in the retail commercial zone. And that's really
Okay, so
common.
that's a separate issue than the two parcels issue.
Yes.
Okay.
And even the two parcels, I mean, they're legally two separate parcels with their own standards, their own issues. Anything on that separate parcel to the right, those are another matter as far as this goes. So I wasn't able to find any way to, if we wanted to keep them connected as far as that bigger house using the garage. They're separate now, so,
Thank you.
However that came to pass, whether it was in the old days, I don't know when the garage was constructed, actually. But pretty sure it was constructed by the same owner, so. Anyway, or at least remodeled. It may have been an older garage that then they remodeled into a nicer one. So, let's see. So this is the zoning map that does show the project site in relation to the zoning, Main Street and 12th Street. And then you can see 13th on one side and 14th on the other. So it is kind of on the borderline between the downtown retail commercial zone and the R16 single family residential zone. And there is, in the retail commercial zone, there are a lot of the older homes still being used as homes. And there are the older historic looking homes in this area as well. This is the site plan that you received on the large scale maps. There is a layout. I've got this in a larger format on the next slide, but there's a layout showing the existing residence and the garage, and then some space in between. This is the driveway down below. There's a single car garage for the older house there, and then the room layout is for that would be for the second floor in the garage, and it just basically shows the stairs and then just the living space. And this is a better, this shows the building layout. Again, here's the driveway, this is the garage. They're showing 2 parking spaces on the ground floor of the garage, so that will still be used as parking, and the residents would be on the second floor. They did recently get that second story. They got a permit to upgrade the water and I think put in a toilet probably and other utilities for a game room. And that's a common thing that people do, but they want to get it recognized and converted into actually a residence. And then there is a parking, they call it parking/patio. So it's a concrete area. As far as required parking goes, they do have a single car garage here. Actually, I'm not sure if that is a garage or if it's, what's that? Just a driveway. And then this is the existing residence. And the alley is on one side, and the property to the east is the one that's developed that large older house. So the garage, it has 1,000 square foot footprint, and then the second floor would also be 1,000 square feet. There are enough parking spaces shown to accommodate both units. It would qualify an accessory dwelling unit. We follow the state law standards until we adopt our own standards, but currently we do follow the state standards. Those are attached in your packet. And if you have any questions about those, we can discuss them. So a conditional use permit would recognize this parcel to have a single-family dwelling and an accessory dwelling unit on the second floor of the detached garage. And I'll hand that back to the Planning Commission for any questions.
Okay.
I do have two questions. One, you already answered about the water. Is there a necessity with regards to any changes for like a separate breaker box for that residence? And then the other part of my other question is, because there's one stairway going up, is there supposed to be anything in the zoning with regards to an additional escape area if there should be a fire? Because we are above a garage. I didn't know if there was anything addressing that as well.
So the building department has reviewed this, and I haven't heard of those comments coming forth. It's definitely something that would get picked up on the building plan review, the Fortuna Fire District. What's that? It did go to Lon, and we haven't received any comments. The fire district did approve the proposal, so I think he definitely would pick that up.
Anyone else? Any questions for staff? Any deliberation on this?
I think it's a great plan. I like the layout.
Yeah, and I think adding accessory dwelling units is always a good thing for a town of our size. We've seen other cities in our area struggle to meet housing needs, and I think this is a really good use of this type of building, so thanks.
I did have a couple more slides that I missed. These are the elevations. So I think the design is really nice, fits in with the neighborhood. It is an existing building, but they have been doing a lot of cleanup improvements. And this shows the layout, basically just the stairs and the different living areas. Okay, so that's it.
Okay. Any other comments, anything? All right, at this time, we're going to open up for public comment. Anybody have anything they want to say about this project? Seeing none, looking to close public comment.
I'll make the motion we close this public comment.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So, back to you guys. Anything else? It looks like a great project. Looks like gonna be a pretty nice place. I don't see a whole lot going on with it. So, looking for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion to adopt resolution number PC 2019-3017, a resolution of the Fortuna Planning Commission approving a conditional use permit for a single-family residence and accessory dwelling unit in the retail commercial district.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Okay. So there you go. Yeah, all approved. Okay, our second order of business tonight, a public hearing to consider a lot line adjustment between two adjoining multifamily residential parcels. The applicant is Luther Home for the Aging. His project is 2130 Smith Lane. Can we get some staff report on this, please?
Yes, thank you, commissioners. So the project location is on the overhead. It is located on Smith Lane, which is east of Fortuna Boulevard, kind of near the top, the north end, where it combines with Warnerville and Main Street. And that's Newburgh to the south, so it is just off of Fortuna Boulevard to the right. To the east. And this shows the parcels. So the two parcels under consideration is the larger parcel that is developed with the Mountain View apartments, and the common property line with the Lutheran Home for the Aging. That's now a vacant parcel, which they are interested in and have plans to bring a project before you for affordable senior housing there. So the property line that they're proposing is this common boundary right here. It shows the aerial view. And you can see on this that there is an existing access road And the property line would bring the line up to the back of the sidewalk here. And they're looking for just some expanded area and easier development. So the extra 15 feet would benefit them. They're still, in terms of, possibly just the question about the green space, there would be a potential for a setback or landscaped area on the adjoining property. So it's something that we thought about. But however, it would be being decreased from 15 feet to 5 feet. 15 feet on one side to 5 feet on the other side. And this shows the zoning. It is in the residential multifamily zoning district, as is most of Smith Lane on both sides. And so it does involve these two parcels. You can see the commercial thoroughfare along Fortuna Boulevard. So it is in an area that is appropriate for multifamily development. And this is the site plan. So this is the entryway. So the entryway itself, the driveway won't be changed. So there will still be a 28-foot two-way driveway, and then landscaping on one side, and then sidewalk on the other. So that will all stay the same. The property line to be moved is the one shown in the dashed here, and it would again go to the back of the sidewalk. So it's just for this length along the side, from the side of the smaller parcel along Smith Lane. And here's a close-up of what I just went over. So the area to be changed, the Lutheran home parcel would gain 1,889 square feet. So about 2,000 square feet would go from the Mountain View Village parcel to the Lutheran home parcel. Other than that, the newly configured parcels will conform to the Fortuna zoning code. There won't be any negative changes in terms, or hardships in terms of code standards or zoning standards. There is just that one visual that I talked about would be decreasing the landscaping along that side. I would point out that any development on that Lutheran home parcel would come to the Planning Commission, and I think it's sort of expected now at this point that they are working on something, an affordable housing project, so it would come to you. So you would be able to see what the landscaping would be proposed at that time. You could comment on, is there going to be a fence located there, or is it going to be left open, which would kind of maintain a entryway landscaped feel. I think when buildings are, or when there's a potential for a large fence, I think is what visually could impact it, to have like a 6-foot fence. But if things are designed nice, I think there's still an open feel. Especially in this case when you have seniors living on the Mountain View section, and you want to promote pedestrian activity, you want a nice walkway. So I think that's something that can be treated on the development of that adjoining parcel.
I mean, we know that definitely has an effect on public health too, and they've studied that population specifically in regard to green space and public health outcomes. So I think that's important and something that we should definitely look at in future.
And so actually that's all I have, and I will turn that back to the commission.
Okay, I got a quick question. So is that going to create the parcel one, so that's going to be coming right up against their fence line, right?
So when you say it's coming up against their fence line?
So where the house or apartments are at the moment, I think that's a duplex right there now. If you go to the overhead, the
The area?
satellite view, yeah.
Aerial map. Yeah.
So,
So
Wow.
that house has been demolished, so it's vacant now.
what's that?
The house has been demolished?
That's the one that's gone. That was the one that's taken out, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, yeah. So that's not gonna create a, no, the wrong size parcel. It's gonna be still a city parcel.
It's not going to be an underconforming.
Non-conforming, yeah.
No. Let's see, what is the, let me check on that. The size of that parcel. Well, that's a 6,000 square foot parcel. What's that? It's bigger than that, yeah. So it's not non-conforming now.
Then it won't make one.
No, it will be getting bigger. So if it were non-conforming, it would be
It would be better.
better.
Okay.
Perhaps I missed something, but what was the original purpose for that 15-foot wide area?
The easement that they're moving into? Is that
Yeah,
what it is?
yeah.
Yeah, I did look at that. I looked in the old file for Mountain View, and there wasn't any information on that.
There's enough width on the road that there isn't like emergency egress, ingress easement.
Right.
needed.
No.
And we
Uh,
don't anticipate that being an issue. It's just more about public green space,
Right.
sort of issue.
Right, it's not interfering with any easements, and the road is 28 feet. There's ingress, egress, the Fortuna Fire Department did look at this and did not comment if they had any concerns. So I was curious, and I wanted to make sure that there wasn't any restrictions, and resulting from the Mountain View Village, and there wasn't any information in the file that indicated, that this was an integral part of the development, or that there was there for any particular reason.
Okay, at this time, we'll open up the public comment. Anybody from the public that wants to comment on this, please come up to the microphone and have your say. Can we get the lights back on, please?
My name is Edith Stromberg Wall, and I'm president of Lutheran Alpha Age. And it's our intention to put in between these two lots that we ultimately 8 additional low-income senior housing units. And we need this configuration in order to be able to do the open space that we need. Because we lost some of the property in the middle of Street 20. The property line was out to the center, almost accidentally. And so we're just trading, I think, street for open space.
Any questions for anybody?
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to speak on this? Come on up, Wally.
So on one of those maps there was a note about a particular line there that, I don't know, we didn't really discuss. And hopefully, that line between the parcel on the left is a CT parcel, and the parcel on the right is RM. We have two different zones. We think, because of the sewer line that serves that Mountain View Village, we had Wyckoff located, and it appears that it's far enough to the west on that parcel that we can design a building that'll fit on that parcel. But during the planning stages, we thought maybe we might want to be able to move that parcel line a little bit to the east to give us more buildable area. And I haven't heard from Claire, who's designing the building, whether, yes, that indeed will fit on that building. I don't know whether we can have a zero setback to that property line. So I was hoping that maybe we could clarify that we would approve some sort of lot line adjustment, if necessary, along that line between the CT zone parcel and the RM zone parcel.
Where on this map does that potential sewer, is this, so is it two issues that we're talking about, or are these two separate issues, the sewer line and the setback? Or are they linked? Are you trying to move the property line so that you have more easement from the sewer
Smith Lane, there's
line?
a lot line, so. here's
Possibly
we
more
go. So,
separation from the sewer line
Give you a little more of that
See,
buffer.
in the event that the location by Wyckoff
Right.
is
this
not precise,
zoning
Right.
and this zoning,
but
but that's sewer line.
think
If I remember right, because I remember I listened to these guys before about
feet
this.
of it.
Right.
Comes right through.
So you're thinking,
in
okay, if we
this
shift a
area,
little in the
right.
other direction, that gives us a cushion from potentially impacting that zone even more.
Cushion, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
I
That's
understand. Thank you.
what I'm thinking, yes.
Yeah.
Just in case, rather than the one lot line adjustment is definite, we need that.
Right.
This other one is. we-
Until they specific, right.
I'd like to get it in front of you now so you can consider it, maybe approve it. If we need it, we don't have to come back for another lot line adjustment meeting.
Can we do that? Because it's not on the agenda, or it's not part of,
Yeah. it
or
would
do we have to make
Brought
it,
back to a different meeting.
Well,
we can't make it part of the motion? Or
Isn't
is
it
that,
It's gotta be,
Well, it hasn't been
subject to
noticed.
review, I think, before it comes before us?
Noticed, and it hasn't been.
It has to go on the agenda.
and then it has to be posted.
Yeah.
I thought when I submitted this thing, I had that note about this line, and I have the note over on the right side, and I thought that, I assumed that that would clearly explain what that note and the potential need to move that line. That was my thinking when I submitted that. So
I don't-
that didn't,
I don't see that being an issue once it comes before us, once it's gone through the process.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but I think it's still, it does need to go through the process, correct, Liz? No matter, we have no say on that, but I agree with you, I think it's a good idea,
Yeah,
But
myself as well.
get it all done at once?
yeah.
It comes back before us. It's gonna.
I don't think any of us are going to have a problem with it. It just has to go separately through the process, just because that's the way the machinery works.
okay,
But it was documented in what we received, the packet we received had notice of that, the
that's
two
what I
mentions of
intended, to
that.
have that notice in the packet, so you could consider it at tonight's meeting.
When I looked at that, I wasn't entirely clear why that was in there, but I understand now, hearing from you, Wally. I mean,
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else have anything they'd like to bring up about? Okay, motion to close public comment.
I'll make that motion to close public comment.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, back to you guys. More on this project. Anything you want to deliberate on, talk about? All good? Okay.
I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution P 2019-3018, a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Fortuna approving the Lutheran Home Lot Line Adjustment.
I'll second that.
Yes.
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 Okay, there you go. And hopefully you won't have to come back, but if you do, it sounds like it's pretty simple. Thank you. Okay. Well, not our last item, but our third item tonight, a public hearing to consider approval for a conditional use permit for an accessory structure 22 feet in height. Applicant Marion Brown, the project site's 2450 Hillside. Can we get some info on this one?
Yes, so the overhead shows the project location. It is in the northeast area of the city, north of Runerville Road. Access is from Newell Road which is along Runerville Road, and then up the hill, up Hillside Drive. Before you go up Hillside Drive very far, there is a private drive, kind of a winding thing that goes into a little, just a little hollow, little
Adele.
Adele, yes. And it's, unfortunately, it's not visible from the street, but I know the homes there are really nice, and I think this, you see the design of the garage, I think it really matches the style of the houses and will be a good development. This shows the parcel lines, kind of what we just saw. It is a large, I think it's a 26-acre parcel. 16 acre, so it's a 16-acre parcel. And again, so it's going up hillside, and so it's lower elevation from all the land on the north and the northwest and the northeast. And it is hidden from Hillside Drive, and it's pretty much hidden from the houses around it just because of the nature of the trees and the way the topography goes. It shows the zoning. It is in a zone of residential estates with a 1 acre minimum lot size. And this is the overall site plan. This site plan here shows the whole parcel, the road, the 2 houses, and the proposed garage. And then there's a detail here, which is actually on the next sheet. So there are 2 existing houses built on the site. So the larger residence is about 2,200 square feet. It includes a 2-car garage attached to it. And then the smaller house is 1,800 feet. I don't believe it has a garage. And then the proposed garage is 784 square foot. The footprint itself is 784 acres with an attic, which adds to the height of the building. The attic is 415 square feet. Oops. So I think on this one, it just shows the layout that, it all kind of works together, especially taking into account the architecture is in conformance. But it's treated pretty much as a little residential enclave. And this is the design of the garage. So it's got a nice pitched roof. It's got windows on all sides. It has a overhang over one of the doors. It's got siding. I think it just fits in with that sort of country, the farmhouse country of that, that RE 43 zoning, the hillside area there. So the use permit is required. This is an accessory structure, and the height limit on accessory structures in residential zones is 15 feet. The code does allow a height of up to 30 feet with a conditional use permit, and this height is proposed at 22 feet. So that's the request for the use permit. We did send out the property notices. We did get one inquiry today, and when they saw the elevations, they were happy with it. So we didn't get any comments or negative comments.
Okay. Well, I would open it up to public comment, but nobody's here, so not going to do that. Let's go to you guys. What do you guys think about this project?
Liz, we've passed something similar to this, I think, last year for some in that same area, about 22, 25 feet.
Yeah.
A
wasn't it?
couple of them.
Yeah. So this is not unusual for us to have this in front of us, so I don't see an issue whatsoever based on history.
No, it's a big property. There's not a whole lot of people around you, so.
And it's a good thing to have that sort of height if you ever want to have a little mother-in-law unit up there or whatever. Really, no reason not to.
It's not going to block anybody's view.
Absolutely.
I don't see where it's going to be a problem in the future where there's going to be a whole lot of development up there. So,
Right, the size of.
Even if they're, yeah, it's in scale with the other buildings in its little compound, so.
okay. What about you sitting down there? Okay.
I love it. It's great.
It is, it's really cute. I'm wondering, actually, is that little circle over the underhang, is that like a little log?
It's a, like a copper tube.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
Aesthetically, it's going to be pretty pleasing.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Looking for a motion.
I'll make the motion to adopt resolution number PC-2019-3016, a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Fortuna approving a use permit for an accessory structure that's 22 feet in height.
I second that motion.
Sure, what-
Yes.
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 Okay. Unanimous vote. All right. Moving on to staff report. Looks like there's a whole bunch of stuff going on that you guys have been really busy.
I'm so busy. I talked about last time about the code enforcement, and we did hold the second hearing. So we held the one for the Acacia Drive violations. That one is now in process for, the order was posted on that one, wasn't it, Katie? I think they posted the order. So that's the code enforcement officers, or the hearing officer's determination that yes, there is a nuisance or a violation on that property, and it shall be remedied by these steps, which is basically removal of the offending materials. And then the second hearing was for a significant site on the east side of Ronerville Road. That hearing was last week.
Last week, yeah.
And we did see the evidence from the code enforcement officer at that hearing, and it was significant. It was probably more significant than one would hope to see. So those findings are being written up now. There's a little process, and right now it's just formalizing the determination of the hearing officer. So, and then that will get posted, and then if there's no compliance, then the city will get involved in cleaning it up. So both of those are well underway, which is really gratifying to see it get to that process, that step. We have some projects in line for you. Recently, you had approved 2 subdivisions, and there are, I think, 4 that are lined up at the gates, ready to be released.
Yeah, we had talked about working in all your spare time on a more of a rubber stampy sort of process, like a
Yes.
permitting process for multifamily, but I imagine that,
No, that is part of the grant application, the SB2 housing grant application. So
Okay, so that's a different, separate from these.
that one, we may have discussed it, but we included it. It's something that the HCD wanted to see anyway to
Yeah.
facilitate housing development, so we included it in one of the measures. We have like 6 different programs that we're proposing in that grant.
Yeah, I remember that presentation
Oh, okay.
from the housing element presentation. I think we talked about that during that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So,
answered my question. Thank you, Liz.
yeah, I don't have anything else. Does anybody have any questions?
I just think you guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you all.
Just quick. On any of these things, you guys gonna do like a public workshop or anything like that? Should we be involved? Should anybody want to come? Don't want to be part of as commissioners?
Yes. So you mean on developing programs for the city?
Anything?
We would absolutely have a public workshop element on that.
So when you do that, would it behoove some of us to be there, not be there? Is it better for us to be there or not be there?
I think it's, I think planning commissioners certainly are welcome to come to see, get a head start and see what's being proposed, and then you can better listen to the public and talk to the public on what their interests are. Even before the hearing, just keep an open mind. You're just kind of informing yourself and being careful not to form an opinion until after you go through the public hearing process.
Right?
Was there a date for that?
No, we don't have dates yet.
Okay, I mean, is it something that's trying to take place before the end of the year, or?
The grant, they're finishing up with their approvals, and it's an over-the-counter, so we do expect to get funded through October.
Okay.
So then it would get initiated, and we would schedule the different programs.
So,
you.
so when that stuff comes up, you give us the heads up and.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, anybody have anything they want to bring up, talk about? Stuff we talked about in the past that haven't been there yet?
Did you have something else, Liz?
Oh, just scheduling. So the next planning commission meeting is canceled due to kind of having a little break in projects and personal time off.
I think
Oh,
that's-
good, I hope I'm not out of time.
So our next meeting will be in October then?
Yes.
Okay,
I won't be.
One last question, I know we've talked about this before, but where are we at with signage? I know we've talked about that before for Main Street and some of the other areas. Do we have any progress on where we're at with that? I know we talked about doing something with making adjustments.
Yeah, we don't have that scheduled.
Okay.
It's something, I think we should, at some point, I can talk to Merritt about it, is having a joint meeting with the city council.
Okay.
So they've talked about some priorities, and they understand about the sign situation needing to be amended, and that's on their list of,
It's on 52,
Yeah.
bottom there.
Right, but I'm just saying, but it doesn't really have a priority in there. And the reason I bring that up is because I see a lot of vacant properties on Main Street for lease, and we got people looking and such, and I think it'd be nice to be ahead of that before they actually, lease out those properties and have something at least in progress for people to say, here's where we're going with this.
yeah.
So,
anybody else, anything?
I'll make the motion that we adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
I didn't do it. Okay.